Find the absolute maximum and minimum values of g of x equals 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 12x plus 1 on the closed interval from -2 to 1. Now, we can use the closed interval method here because we have a continuous function on a closed interval. That means that we are going to want to take the derivative to figure out what the critical numbers are. So for g prime of x, that's going to give us, what, 6x squared minus 6x minus 12. Now, this is always defined, so we're not going to have any critical numbers from an undefined derivative, but we might have this equaling to 0. We probably will. We need to solve this. The first thing I notice we can do is divide both sides by 6. That is going to give us smaller coefficients, which makes life easier. So if we divide both sides by 6, we get x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. And then we can factor this. We need two numbers with a product of -2 and a sum of -1. Those are going to be -2 and +1. And when we set each of those equal to 0, that gives us x equals 2 or x equals -1. So those are our potential critical numbers, but one of them is not a critical number. Do you know why? If we look at the interval we were given, we're only considering this function from -2 to 1, and x equals 2 is not in that interval, so we can get rid of that. It is not in our domain. So our only critical number is x equals -1. So we need to evaluate this function on our critical number, -1, as well as the endpoints, -2 and +1. If we evaluate it at -1, that's going to be, let's see, -1 cubed is -1 times 2 is -2. And then -1 squared is +1, and -3 times +1 is -3. For the next term, -12 times -1 is +12, so that's going to be +12. And then we also have that +1. Now, -2 minus 3 is -5. 12 minus 5 is 7, and then when we add 1, we get 8. So this first possible extreme value is 8. Then we need to move on to -2. -2 cubed is -8, and 2 times -8 is -16. Then -2 squared is 4, and -3 times 4 is -12. Then -12 times -2 is +24, and we also have that +1. Let's see. I'm going to start in the middle. -12 plus 24 is +12. 12 minus 16 is -4. And when we add 1 back in, that gives us -3. So that is our next value. And then lastly, we've got to plug in 1. If we plug in 1, all of those x's and x squareds and x cubeds are going to be 1. So we've just got the coefficients 2 minus 3 minus 12 plus 1. 2 minus 3 is -1. -1 plus 1 is 0, so those cancel, and we're just left with -12. And that is the smallest of the values, so that's our absolute minimum. So our absolute minimum is -12, and it occurs at x equals 1. And our absolute maximum, the largest value there is 8, and it occurs at x equals -1. And that's it.